a recap of Sean Murray's AMA, and more on the lore of No Man's Sky. Thank you guys for coming back to another episode of Cobra TV. Guys, what a great month we had with No Man's Sky. The IGN first was a lot of already known facts about the game, but it did have a few new things and a lot of new gameplay and picks. One of the things that I'm not going to touch on in this video is the release date. I know some of you are sick of waiting for it, and others are sick and tired of hearing about it. Just know that this game will come out, guys. A release date will only tell us how long we have to wait. Now on to the AMA. I'm not going to go over a lot of it because most of it were known facts about the game. In a recent vid, I was talking about not knowing if we were going to have a flashlight, although some pics kind of show that, it still wasn't confirmed until in the recent AMA. A question was asked, when a player dives into the ocean, can the ocean be deep enough to go into complete darkness like trenches and see scary fish like anglerfish? Sean Murray responds by saying some seas can be very deep, yes, and they can get dark. Maybe you'll find certain creatures down there and other things. Besides, you'll have a light on your suit that'll help you see. But these places are likely to be dangerous. One of my favorite things, Murray says, that never gets old for me is that feeling when I find some underwater caves. There I am, supposed to be testing the game, and suddenly I'm distracted 100 meters deep in a cave, discovering new creatures and running out of air. Wow, dangerous places in the deep seas, being lost in some underwater cave and running out of air with dangerous creatures lurking around. Those are just a few of my greatest fears in real life. But hey, at least we'll have a flashlight. I wonder if we will come across caves that could lead to dry land deep underwater. You know, like in some of the sci-fi movies. Be kind of cool. Another question was answered that I've seen around so many times, and for a lot of you, it was a big concern. Blackness of space. Some of you have said it's too colorful and wanted to see space without the colors. The question was, is there always bright, colorful gas when you're in the solar system, or can you sometimes see the blackness of space? Sean Murray responds, this is a game about exploration though. While we have focused on showing our more vibrant systems in the past, and they are more interesting to discover. If you want to see the blackness of space, I think if you are willing to explore, then you'll find it. So good news to all of you who were hoping for that. This leads us to the next topic, black holes and supernovas. We already knew that there were going to be black holes in the game, but the question was, my question for Sean Murray, we know how diverse planets can be. Does the same apply for the stars? For example, will we see stellar nebulas, massive stars, red giants, red supergiants, planetary nebulas, and supernovas, white dwarfs, or black holes? And then Sean Murray says, we have a variety of different types of stars, some of which are super rare, and you'll start to realize that they tend to offer certain opportunities. As to the other phenomena, well, we don't want to say too much about what to expect because No Man's Sky is about exploration and finding things for yourself. But the rule we've set for ourselves is that it's a game first, not a simulation. Space has to be fun, and everything you find in it should offer interesting ways of playing. So for instance, a black hole could be a really cool gameplay element, but maybe a supernova isn't so much. So I'm still sticking with my gut feeling that the black holes being used as a game element will likely to be portals to other galaxies. Let me know what you guys think below. Remember, it's a sci-fi game. And also, as far as weather goes, many people ask that as well. And again, it's a game element thing. Some people are still convinced that this isn't a game, but a walk around, fly about experience. Later this week, I'm going to put together a vid showcasing the game elements in No Man's Sky. But as far as weather, these are the confirmed planetary weather systems so far. Rain, dust storms, snow, blizzard, storms, and a bunch of other things possible. There are also more alien weather types, effectively like radioactive and toxic hazards, and atmospheres made from different compositions to ours. I love the bunch of other things possible part. The more we know, the more we don't know, right guys? No Man's Sky could also be a gift that keeps on giving. In other interviews, he's been asked about adding updates to the game. Sean has always answered yes to this question, and he's always said if the game does well. He also said in the past that these updates won't be things like new planets or animals or anything like that, but new features and gameplay elements. He was asked that in the recent AMA, and still the answer is the same, which is so exciting. He says, "You're opening up my personal Pandora's box of pain here. There isn't enough room on the internet for a list of all the things I wish I could do. It's sort of okay, because today when you release a game, it doesn't mean you're necessarily finished. We want to release something finished, something complete, but I really hope that No Man's Sky is successful enough to allow us to even add just some of the extra things we always talk about in the studio, or things that the community will come up with, hopefully." So guys, lots of things to possibly look forward to in the future. Not only will this channel have gameplay when the game comes out, but it looks like future game update videos will be something to keep me busy as well. Since the game's announcement, we have seen loads of gameplay, and one of the things me and Bookshelf Gaming have always said is that we are getting a glimpse of an unfinished game. Every time we see it, it looks better than before. So none of us can actually say we've seen this game for what it truly is. Another thing to point out in the AMA is when he was asked, "What about No Man's Sky excites you the most?" His response was amazing. Sean Murray says, "Honestly, right now, there's a bit of maths that I'm working on that will really increase the variation you see on planets, or at least give more interesting variation." Wow, guys. So if you're like me and have loved what you've seen from the planets so far, especially in the 2 or 5 planets from IGN, this is exciting, guys. The next time we see this game, it will look even better yet again. So let's move on to the story and lore part, something that I'm not sure if people really caught on to in the AMA. So let's talk about the lore here for a second. The story/lore has been an issue with most gamers buying into the idea of No Man's Sky. Since some of that info has been spread thinly across many articles, it's easy to understand why so many people may not be aware that there seems to be a good deal of lore to the game that can be discovered. A tiny bit more was revealed in Sean Murray's AMA. But first, let's take a look at some of the known information about the lore. The Atlas is part of the lore, even though IGN reported that when we upload our discoveries to the beacons, they are being uploaded to the Atlas. But as Sean Murray puts it here, the Atlas is part of the lore.
There is still like a lore to the universe that we have kind of created in our heads and try and embed into it, you know. And that kind of symbol that you see everywhere, that's like on my t-shirt, we call that the Atlas, and that's an important part of that lore. We haven't really talked about that yet.
But how thick is that lore? The Sentinels are part of it as well. As explained in a Kotaku interview with Sean Murray, it reads, "There won't really be a traditional story. Instead," Murray told me, "there's a layer of lore undergirding the exploration. For example, the Sentinels patrolling the planets you visit were made by an ancient race and seeded throughout the galaxy to preserve the delicate balance of planetary ecosystem. But the Sentinels? They're a bit out of control," Murray teased, hinting at a thread of lore that may be lying in wait for players to discover. That, as stated, is just a thread of the lore. With that alone, we can already see an amazing story taking place. The next bit of the lore is you. You as a player, you are part of the lore. During the AMA, Sean Murray was asked, "Are the characters pre-made or customizable? What was the reasoning for the decision?" He responded by saying, "We know who you are, or at least we have a lore that explains why you are in the universe." And there you have it. It seems to me the lore in No Man's Sky keeps getting thicker. So out of speculation, could we be that malevolent force that he speaks about so much? So to recap, the Atlas is part of the lore. An ancient race seeded the Sentinels on the planets across the galaxy. There is a reason why they are out of control. You are part of the lore. But how will this story be told to us? The simple answer is that you have to seek it out. You have to discover it. You have to explore that story. Because remember, this game is about freedom, and you could choose how you want to play. The second reason why they don't tell us who we are is so that we can live out our own imagination of who we are. You want to be Han Solo? You're Han Solo. So rest assured, guys, if you want there to be a story in No Man's Sky, or lore as you want to call it, there is. Hang in there, guys. We will be playing this game eventually, I promise you. If you guys have any ideas about a certain No Man's Sky topic, leave a comment below. I also have a new Megaton Rainfall video coming very soon. As you guys know, that's another game that I've been following where you get to play a superhero, like a Dr. Manhattan type superhero, and you're fighting an alien invasion on a planet. It's really cool. I will link the video in the description below. But yeah, a new video of that coming out, and a video that I'm titling No Man's Sky is a Game, where I go through and kind of talk about the No Man's Sky game elements for those of you that really are concerned about No Man's Sky being a game. I love you guys. Thank you so much for being here. Until next time.